Well, after the unbanning in 1990, 91, 92, I started working for the ANC, although I was like a volunteer working with Comrade Paul Mashatile at the regional office then, which is the province. I was therefore called upon to come and become a councillor, which is something that I didn't know. I knew that councillors were, hectic people, people that did not want anything, and I tried to resist, but when the majority of our structures wanted me to be there, well, I don't know the reason. But eventually, because deployment is deployment, I was working for an NGO here in town, then I went back there. I became, in fact, during that process, remember, CODESA was already in progress. But in CODESA, the model for local government was not started. It only started late after CODESA was finalized what type of government we want in our country. They forgot about, I will say forgot because I don't know what was in the mind of our leaders. Then we were called in to come and start negotiating to decide the model of local government that we wanted. And I did not have a lot of knowledge about local government. Safe to say, I know that local government must deliver water for me, must deliver sewer, must bring in electricity, which I didn't have. Then we started discussing until the Local Government Transition Act was promulgated, and the first cohorts of local government councillors were deployed, and I was then deployed. I was the only woman, both in the statutory and non-statutory, although I came from the non-statutory. And non-statutory meant all those that were not participating in any government structure at the time. Then in 1995, that's when we first had our local government elections. And we were elected, and I became the mayor. I was young. All what I knew about being a mayor was to kiss the babies and the grannies. And I thought it was going to be an easy thing.
And how old was Uma at that time?
Well, I should have been 26, I think. Yeah, I was in the youth league, I was radical. I recall one meeting that I chaired. I was carrying these standing orders. When I didn't even know about standing orders. I knew that the meeting must be chaired.
Yes.
And I will call any person to come speak. And when I'm tired, I will take the standing orders, put them aside as a radical person. I would say, don't tell me, the town clerk when they wanted to interview said, don't tell me what to do. I'm the mayor here, But gradually we were taken to school by the ANC. I attended a local government course in Rau. That's when I began to understand local government better. Because there was this professor who told us to be careful as a young mayor, and she told me that I'm beautiful, and she told me the challenges that goes with being in the office, but also a senior office, to say at times you'll be in this office, you'll be on your own. So ensure that you also build partnerships, you also interact with everyone. But what also helped me as a Christian, praying helped me a lot. And I even established what we used to call, we call it something else today, but what the FPO sector today. But what we had was the Ministers Fraternal. How it helped me, because I was young. when there was somebody who passed on in the community, I couldn't go alone. I mean, I was too young to take it seriously. I would ask these leaders, church leaders, to go with me, to pray with people, and it really helped me. I think it made me to grow. As a result, I remember having this forum. We even called the priest around the Nigel area, which is a conservative area. One priest even cried in the service that we had, because we prayed together in my chamber to say we must apologize on his behalf, because when they supported apartheid, they didn't know that they were doing something evil, something that hurt people, because they were Africans. That's how they were brought up. But we also decided to establish other structures, with the knowledge that I got from Rao, was to ensure that we organize those are unorganized, like the Principals Forum, because you'll find that different schools will come to us and say, we request this service. Now they were competing for scarce resources. We started the Principals Forum. We started a lot of other NGOs in the area, so that we're able as local government to feedback, but also to teach them about local government, because you can't have a structure. I mean, all of us were negative about the municipality, but we had to come back to say, hey, these are the challenges in the country. We're also having an interim constitution. For us to be able to have the right constitution, we also needed that public participation process to kick in. And it really helped me. Up to where I am, I think I've grown. And I think being a prayer warrior, having a granny that brought me up, who was praying herself, but also being surrounded by the right people, even my values that I was taught at home, the values that I was taught by the organization, like the organization that I am in, which is the ANC, really helped me to grow as a person.